Dr. Medi arrived at the small wooden bridge over the shallow stream, carrying 2 heavy barrels of water. A group of forest children had gathered nearby, curious and a little nervous. They whispered to each other as they looked at the fragile bridge, realizing that if anyone tried to carry the heavy barrels across directly, the bridge would surely sink. Medi tapped her chin thoughtfully, studying the situation carefully. She took 2 long ropes and tied them securely to the barrels, then gently placed the barrels into the water below the bridge. Step by step, Medi walked lightly on the bridge while pulling the barrels along the water toward the far bank. The barrels glided smoothly without touching the bridge. Once they reached the other side, Medi lifted them out of the water and placed them safely on the bank. The children watched in awe and clapped their paws and hands in quiet admiration. Then the wise old turtle, the forest elder, appeared with a tall pole, and a gift bag dangled from its top. He announced the new challenge. The children must get the gift without lowering the pole or climbing it. The children murmured among themselves, puzzled. Medi studied the pole carefully and tilted her head thoughtfully. She picked up the pole and carried it toward the nearby well. With steady paws, she balanced the pole inside the well until the gift bag hung just within reach at the well's edge. Medi gently grabbed the gift bag and lifted it slowly, keeping the pole stable. The children gasped in surprise and then cheered loudly, excited and inspired. Medi smiled warmly, holding the gift bag up for everyone to see, and the forest elder nodded in approval. The children stepped closer, curious, and Medi explained in a soft, playful voice that sometimes thinking differently and being patient helps solve even the trickiest problems. She shared some small treats from the gift bag with the children, and their faces lit up with joy. The sun glinted off the water below the bridge, reflecting Medi's calm, confident smile. Medi hopped lightly across the bridge, balancing herself easily, and the children began trying similar challenges with sticks, stones, and ropes. Medi encouraged them gently, offering tips and praising their clever ideas. The forest elder watched with a smile as the children laughed and learned, experimenting safely while developing patience and creativity. Finally, Medi sat beside the stream, watching the barrels float gently in the water, happy and satisfied with the day's lessons. The sun began to set, casting a warm golden light across the bridge. The water and the joyful children who had learned the value of clever thinking, patience, and careful planning. In a small town by the quiet Bayou Lake, a young girl waited patiently for her friend, a clever rabbit named Dr. Medi, who had once helped her solve many tiny problems in the forest. Her parents, however, were very strict and didn't allow her to meet Medi. One rainy season, when water from the lake flooded the garden, a tiny magical eel appeared and spoke to the girl. "I am your friend Medi," said the eel. "A spell turned me into this form. If you truly care for me, follow my instructions and help the plants in the garden." The girl carefully planted the magical eel in the soil, covering it gently with earth. Days passed, and a small sprout emerged from the soil. Under the girl's loving care, the sprout grew rapidly into a strong tree. Before long, it bore large, round fruits with a sweet, fragrant juice inside. Curious, the girl picked a fruit and shared it with her family. Everyone was amazed at its delicious taste, and the tree became known throughout the town. Meanwhile, Medi returned to her rabbit form, hopping along the flooded paths, guiding the girl and teaching her a special lesson about care, patience, and the healing power of nature. Medi explained how plants and trees can provide nourishment and health benefits, and how kindness and patience can help solve even magical challenges. The girl laughed and learned to appreciate every little plant in her garden, watering them carefully and observing their growth. Medi demonstrated how natural remedies, like the sweet juice from the magical coconut, could help the body stay hydrated and strong. Together, Medi and the girl shared the fruits with friends and neighbors, explaining how nature gives us healthy treats and that patience and gentle care always bring good results. By the end of the season, the garden was full of thriving plants. The tree was tall and strong, and the girl had learned the importance of patience, care, and teamwork, guided by her clever friend, Dr. Medi. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom in Greece, there was a very greedy king named Midas who loved gold more than anything else in the world, and he spent every day dreaming about having more and more of it. One day, he wished aloud for a kingdom full of gold, sparkling everywhere, and suddenly a magical voice responded to him. "Tomorrow morning, everything you touch will turn into gold." The king was overjoyed and could hardly sleep that night thinking about all the treasures he would have. Early the next morning, he jumped out of his bed and reached for the sheets, and instantly the bed turned solid gold. He touched his pillows and blankets, and they gleamed brightly, all gold. He touched his clothes, and they shimmered golden too. And at first he laughed and danced in delight, imagining all the riches he would enjoy. But when he walked to his beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers, he touched a bright blooming rose, and to his dismay, it instantly turned gold, losing all its vibrant color. His joy began to fade as he realized that his love for gold had begun to take away the beauty around him. He hurried inside to have breakfast, touched his cup of milk, and it became gold, touched the bread, and it too turned gold, leaving him hungry and frustrated. Tears welled up in his eyes as he realized that having everything made of gold was not as wonderful as he imagined. Just then, Medi, the clever and gentle rabbit doctor, appeared, hopping softly to him. Medi's warm brown eyes looked into his, and she said, "King Midas, gold is beautiful, but it cannot feed your heart, your family, or your happiness. True joy comes from love, care, and kindness." Midas bowed his head, realizing his mistake, but then he ran to hug his daughter who was nearby, and to his horror, she instantly turned into a golden statue. Midas cried out, filled with sorrow and regret. Medi quickly guided him, saying, "Hurry to the river, wash your hands, and the magic will fade." Midas dashed to the flowing river, splashing water on his hands and arms, watching in awe as the golden touch melted away, returning his daughter to her normal, smiling self. She ran into his arms, hugging him tightly, and he hugged Medi with tears of gratitude, realizing how precious his loved ones truly were. He returned to his garden, gently touching the flowers, smiling as the colors returned, feeling the cool petals and fresh leaves. Medi hopped around, teaching him about the importance of patience, love, and appreciating the small joys of life. They sat together in the garden, enjoying the sun, the gentle breeze, and the laughter of the princess as she played among the restored flowers. Midas promised never to let greed blind him again, understanding that wealth alone does not bring happiness. He learned that sharing, caring, and treasuring those you love is far more important than all the gold in the world. Medi smiled, proud that the king had finally learned this lesson, and the three of them enjoyed the garden, the fresh fruits, and the peaceful sunlight, knowing that from that day forward, love and kindness would shine brighter than any gold.
Don't forget to subscribe to Dr. Medi. We still have many stories to tell.